to start with Sam Powell-Pepper and the verdict there. Did that surprise you, the length of the ban? Or?
Oh, no, I think what's really clear is that we're all aware of the situation with concussion as much as we can possibly be aware now, and we knew and we understood. And Sam was the first to own that when he made his own comments around the situation. He knew he'd got it wrong, and he owned that right from the start. I think what has been really clear is that there's a level of responsibility that's even stepped up again, and the AFL have made that clear this year already. It's really clear now that what was last year is different to what's going to be graded at this year, and we all accept that because we think it's better for the game, and we understand that as we're not appealing it, we made our decisions based on we can see why, and we don't want those incidents in the game. Sam said that. We're very aware we'd much rather have Sam available, but consequences of the game we play.
Does it also show how hard it is to coach? I mean, you would have spent summer, I'm assuming, telling people tackle, don't bump, and that.
Yeah, without going through the whole case, because it did take a fair while, I think it's a really difficult situation for players, but they can't be any clearer now with their responsibility.
What was your emotions when that incident had occurred? Is it disappointment, frustration, anger?
At the time, I actually didn't know the consequence other than once I seen young Keane go off the ground, I knew he'd been. Then you reflect back on it and you get an opportunity and clearly I've had time to look at it plenty of times and I go, well, it's somewhat of a football incident that happens in our game, unfortunately, in a contact sport. No one sets out to cause the damage, but the reality is someone's responsible for that.
Have you had to reiterate any particular message on that?
No, we've been really strong all summer on what's expected, tackling, sling tackling, all the things that we think can get our players in trouble. And Sam is plays an aggressive style of football, which he said himself. I don't think we can expect too many things, and Sam's really aware. He knows he's got it wrong, and he understands he's got to pay a price.
Does that make it more disappointing from your point of view that he was aware and all this education?
So start again. He knew, and we all knew the consequences of concussion for a number of years now, not just this year. Our players are very, very cautious of that, and they're very aware of that. And sometimes, I think it was 0.9 of a second, you got a decision to make, and if you get it, we can all get some things wrong, even if we're aware. I know that I should brake and not hit the back of a car, but sometimes some people hit the back of a car. I think it can happen.
The word scapegoat was one that was used during the tribunal. Is that one you agree with, or is that just? No,
it's not a word that I certainly agree with. I think it's a precedence. There's a line in the sand again with this concussion situation, and I think the AFL made it really clear that if you create the incidents that we've seen, that there's a level of penalty that you're going to pay that's higher than it was in previous years.
He's obviously been remorseful towards Mark. Has he feel similar? Is he sorry towards the team?
Of course he is. I mean, Sam's an absolute team player. Sam is no more devastated player than Sam himself, because he doesn't want. He's part of our leadership group, and he's a really important part of this team. And we stand by Sam. We don't hang him out. We think Sam plays footy in the right way, and he's absolutely a very valued member of our team. And he knows that he would love to be out there to support the boys in the first 4 weeks of the year. He won't be. We move on.
What can you tell us about the team for tomorrow night?
We'll be as close as we can be for round one. Which will include all the people that are available for us. I mean, Todd will be back that didn't play last week. Todd and Drew, who didn't play last week, will play tomorrow night. And then, without going through every player, I think they were the two major changes that you'll see from last week. We'll be as close to a dress rehearsal of an AFL game as we possibly can. We'll play 23, 24 players maximum, I'd say, throughout the night, given no injuries, because we'll always be mindful of if we lose a player or two, we won't overwork players either.
Sin and Georgiadis, are they?
No, they won't play.
We've got two rucks. We've got Sweet and on Solar.
Yeah, potentially they'll both get an opportunity tomorrow night to have a run around, and we'll do that again. There's one of the flexibilities in our game that we know the position that rucks have to play all year to protect them a little bit and give them an opportunity to own the first position. They'll both get a little look tomorrow night.
Solar been holding that spot at the moment as your lead ruck, or?
I'm letting them decide. I'm letting them decide.
Just back to Sin and Georgiadis for a second. Is that as much about getting games into them, given where they've come back?
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything going on, and with that, I mean, you've got to be mindful of where they come from, and Mitch particularly, he's coming off an ACL, so it's a pretty significant injury. You know, the temptation was there, I'll be honest, the absolute temptation is there to put Mitch Georgiades out there because we think he's a pretty important player for the future and for the immediate future too. So, but we're playing a bit more of a long game.
Ken, where do you think the team's at compared to 12 months ago? I think Chad last time after the hit out against the Crows was not happy. This time he was a little happier. Do you see them further along the line?
I think our first trial this year was better than it was last year. I think our summer's been pretty incident free. I think that always gives you a good opportunity to get the team as fit as you can possibly. And all you can hope for at this stage of the year is you get them fit, and that you get to work on fine tuning and some small gains in our game that we're looking to achieve. Our first glimpse against opposition, against quality opposition, was promising. We get another great opportunity tomorrow night against Fremantle, who played pretty well last week.
How's the wing battle looking? I think
Everyone wants to know about the wing battle now, don't they? It seems like something's missing. We'll find out which it is. I think the wing battle's on.
Bergman likely to play there again. I know he obviously.
Yeah. Miles will play there.
Yeah.
Miles will play there. Travis will play there. Drew's back in the team. Drew will get a bit of time there, so we'll get some flexibility. We won't be locked into any particular players, but certainly, Jace Berglund's the other one that's been out there playing a bit. So.
And here with Jace play tomorrow night.
Yep.
How's the defensive synergy, I guess, between the new blokes? How they
Growing.
Growing
Is what which would be
see?
clear, wouldn't it? It'd be fair enough to say growing because there's two new parts to it, pretty significant parts to it with Thatch and with Asava, and then we're looking for that to continue to grow, and we know that where it is today, it's not the finished product, but we anticipate that it will make us stronger as the season goes, and the more time they spend together, everyone tells you that. You build some connection, and that's what the boys down back are doing now, and that's what we're looking forward to seeing the growth of that again tomorrow night.
Zach Thatcher's been pretty. He's been.
Yeah, we brought him to the club, obviously for some reasons that we thought he could add to us, and a South Australian boy wanted to come home. That certainly helps us. So we're really happy with what both the boys have been doing. Look, to be fair, the 4 mature players we've brought into the club in the off season, we're really happy with where they're at.
How's Charlie tracking?
Yeah, he's going good. He's building game time, and he'll build more game time again tomorrow night. And hopefully, I've got to be careful with Charlie. I'm never sure. He's a collision person, so things can happen. But the reality is, we hope that he's continuing to build. And I think one of the positives for us is that we've been very, very cautious with Charlie, with where he's at in his football career, his age. I mean, there's a few things, and the way he's played over a 12 or 14 year period. We understand that getting games out of him in season is still very, very valuable to us, and if that means lessening some minutes in the off-season or pre-season, we've been very much aware of that.
Jackson Mead's been one of the real positives of your pre-season. Is he available?
Yes, he played tomorrow night. He's done really well. He's had a fantastic pre-season. To be fair to Jackson, he's prepared pretty well in his last couple of years to get an opportunity. It's a pretty strong midfield that he's trying to break into, but we understand that his best football is an inside mid, and we need to give him those opportunities. We've tried to fit him in the team at different points in slightly different positions. Doesn't mean he can't play forward or play a little bit of wing, all those available options for him, but the reality is we think his best football is an inside mid.
Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Ollie this pre-season, about him being sort of back to his best. Now that you've had the chance to see him against proper opposition, do you feel that is the case? He's back to his best?
I think he's absolutely back to his best. He's had a great pre-season, and I'm as bullish around Ollie as I am around any other person in our side this year. So I hope as he's always done for me, he won't let me down.